have noticed, but plastic is everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. Your food, your drinks are packaged in it, the computer, the phone or the smart TV that you're watching me on has dozens of plastic parts. You might even be wearing some plastic if you've decided to watch this video in the rain. And unfortunately, plastic all too often ends up in places that it shouldn't, cluttering up the world's forests, its oceans, and harming ecosystems to the world over. But with plastic being involved with just about everything we do on a day-to-day basis, you'd be forgiven for taking it for granted. So what actually is plastic? And why is recycling so important? Well, in broad terms, plastic is a collection of hydrogen and carbon atoms combined into very large molecules, what we call polymers. It can be moulded easily into all kinds of shapes. The first plastic, known as Parkinsine, was developed in 1856 by Alexander Parkes in Birmingham. Since then, hundreds of different types of plastic have been developed, and the fact that they're pretty easy and cheap to produce means they've beaten out traditional materials like wood, stone, and metal as the go-to material, particularly for packaging. About 2 million plastic bags are used every single minute. We truly do live in the plastic age. You see, plastic is without a doubt a very, very useful invention, but it does have some serious drawbacks. Those big molecules that make plastic so easy to work with also take a very, 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 very long time to break down naturally, something like 1,000 years. So, left out in the open, any plastic will just sit there for about a millennium, tangling up animals and generally cluttering up the place. Around 12.7 million tons of plastic ends up in the ocean every single year. Thanks to ocean currents, plastic waste has been found in every corner of the earth. Large pieces entangle and choke sea creatures. So what can we do to prevent the plastic apocalypse? Well, that's where recycling comes in. Most plastics can be recycled. That is to be broken down and remoulded into something new, rather than simply thrown away. But there are complications. The biggest is that different types of plastic have to be sorted into different groups. They can't be recycled together, and sorting through all of the waste takes a lot of time and money. Now, we've made progress in our recycling efforts. Some nations, like Japan, recycle about 83% of all their plastic, but we've still got a long way to go. Globally, as of 2016, only 14% of all plastic was recycled, while the rest was either incinerated or buried in landfill sites. So, what can you do to help? Well, sometimes the smallest thing can make a big difference. Simply reusing items like bottles or bags is a good start, or trying to cut out single-use items like plastic forks or straws, and of course remember to recycle the plastics that you do use, rather than just sticking them in the bin. It may sound small, but you have to remember that it will stick around for 1,000 years if you don't.
Now, you may remember that in some of our previous videos we've talked about climate change, the way our planet's ecosystem has altered over time and how human society could be affecting it. Well, recently, the world's leading climate scientists have warned that there's only around a dozen years for global warming to be kept to a maximum of 1.5 degrees Celsius, beyond which even half a degree will significantly worsen the risks of droughts, floods, extreme heat, and poverty for hundreds of millions of people. A UN panel has advised urgent and unprecedented changes are needed to reach this target, which they say is achievable and feasible. Although it lies at the most ambitious end of a widely held pledge to keep temperatures between 1.5 degrees Celsius and 2 degrees Celsius. This half-degree difference could also prevent corals from being completely eradicated and ease pressure on the Arctic. In order to hit this target, we all need to try and do our part. There are things you can do every day to help reduce greenhouse gas emissions and reduce your impact on the environment. So here are 5 simple things that you can do to help save the planet. Number 1. Pay attention to how you use water. Making a few small changes can make a very big difference. For example, every time you turn off water when you're brushing your teeth, you're doing something good. Make sure that all of your plumbing is working properly and that you have no leaks, because you could be wasting a lot of water. Try drinking tap water instead of bottled water from shops. This will save on water, plastic recycling, and also a few pounds. Wash your clothes on a lower temperature setting whenever you can, and try to have quick showers instead of baths whenever possible. Number 2, leave your car at home. It's estimated that there are over 1 billion cars on the road today. That's one for every 7 people in the world, including the kids not old enough to even drive yet. So, if you or your parents, if you're still young, drive a car, try to use public transport now and again instead, only if it's just a few times a week. If you can keep your car off the road for just 2 days a week, you can help reduce greenhouse gas emissions by an average of 721 kilograms every year. Plan your trips ahead so that you can combine your chores and go shopping, see your friends, catch a movie all in one day in order to reduce your overall journeys. Not only will it save on emissions, but it'll save your petrol money and precious time. Number 3. Foot power. Walk, jog, or ride a bike to the places you need to go, whether it's work, school, or wherever you have to be, even if it's just for a part of that journey. This has the added benefit of improving your health while also reducing greenhouse emissions. Not to mention that fresh air and exercise have also been shown to improve our overall mood and state of mind, which means you could be generally happier just by stretching your legs, and you might be able to journey with someone instead of by yourself. Obviously, weather isn't always kind, but do try and get out if you can. Number 4. Recycle. You've probably been told this already by many people, but recycling is one of the biggest contributions that you can make. You could help reduce pollution just by putting that Coke can into a different bin and remembering to put the newspaper into the paper recycling and not just into the general waste. Literally by making an effort as small as putting it into this bin instead of this bin. It's really not that hard. A lot of packaging these days can be recycled or reused, so make sure you know which bin to put the right kind of product into, and before you've even bought anything, if you're trying to choose between 2 different products, why not try and choose the one with the least packaging? If you can't recycle, you might consider reusing containers, perhaps for storage or organisation. Number 5. Eat less meat. Now, I'm not standing here telling you to become a vegetarian or a vegan or to give up meat in any way, shape or form. However, I will say that the meat industry in our society creates a massive carbon footprint, as much as all the cars, trucks and other vehicles on the planet put together. Eating meat also contributes to the loss of trees, which are cut down to create space for rearing and housing livestock, and it takes 2,500 gallons of water to produce just 1 pound of meat, compared to only 25 gallons of water to produce the same amount of wheat. Rearing animals for food generates a massive amount of raw waste and is the #1 source of water pollution. You can also try to be ethical about the meat that you do eat. For example, beef cattle raised on deforested land creates 12 times more greenhouse gases and use 50 times more land than those grazing on a rich natural pasture. So, if you want to do your bit for the environment, try to reduce the amount of meat in your diet. Alternatively, try to have maybe 1 day a week without meat. Now that's just 5 easy ways that you can help to reduce the pollution in the world that we live in.